In Search of the Source, Chapter 19, Ransom. Jesus died, but not for nothing. He died as a ransom for many. He told about it on several occasions before it happened. He wove it into his teachings on how his followers are to live, which is almost always opposite of what our natural sense would tell us. Such came out in the passage we were working on in Mark. Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Mark 10:43-45. Ransom. Ransom, I thought. What is the word for ransom? This is the heart of the gospel, the bete of the whole message. The men around the table had that common blank expression on their faces that must have reflected my own. Here we go again, they seemed to be thinking. He's looking for a word. What is it? It was often like this, a game of 20 questions. I'm thinking of something, you've got to tell me what it is. Do we get any hints? I'll try, I said. Back to the fighting days. You took captives, right? Yes. Were there ever times when you offered to release the person alive? Say, to trade the man or woman or child for whatever you could get, like shells or pigs or anything like that? The question was absurd to them. Their laughter sent hints of ridicule. I hesitated to probe again. To have ever considered something so materialistic was beneath them. Their wars and killing had always been to avenge death. It was just to keep the score even, period. Hapele, however, was thinking, and seemed to grasp what I was getting at. We do have something like that, he said. It's not quite the same. It was never used with an enemy, but we use it between clans. It's dupatapo. I knew the word. It means trade. Tell me about it, I said. You know, he said, things always have to be kept even, but sometimes you can't keep them even, not perfectly, when your own people are involved. It's like what happens with Wotali, he said. What happened with Wotali? I asked. Well, he continued, not long ago we were making a new garden and Wotale was cutting one of the big trees. Just down the hill from him, a woman was working sago. They knew of each other's presence and Wotale kept warning her to move, but she wanted to get a little more done first. She knew it was going to take a while to get that big tree down, so she kept working. When Wotali finished his undercut, he yelled to her again, but she didn't leave. Then, suddenly, earlier than either of them expected, the tree groaned and began its fall. He yelled and she ran, but there was no way to get clear. The tree fell right on her, crushed her skull, and she died. What followed was a terrible uproar. Wotali got out of there as fast as he could, hiding himself in the men's house. And all the clansmen of the dead woman immediately went for their bows and arrows and axes. As one body, they marched up to Wotale's longhouse and stood outside, yelling and shouting and demanding justice. They were calling for Wotale's life, for the life of the woman he'd killed. But it was an accident, his clan brothers protested from inside the longhouse. It doesn't matter. He did it, they all shouted back. But he warned her, they yelled out. That's no matter, they yelled back. Wotale never came out, but after a while his clan brothers did, and they brought things with them. They began spreading objects on the ground, starting with pieces of bark cloth, kina, abalone shells, red cloth, axes, bush knives, salt. They were all valuables, things they would never give up, except under great duress. They also drove stakes in the ground and tethered pigs to them. As the stock of goods kept growing, the women's clan didn't subside their yelling threats, and Wotale's people were doing a lot of yelling back. It was all bargaining and bickering for how much it would take to pay for a life. It went on and on at high pitch until somebody from the woman's clan yelled, "Supo." Supo means enough. Then the leader of the men's house said, "Dupatapo." That completed it. There was a trade. The bereaved clan picked up all the valuables, leading the pigs on their tethers, and went home. Then Wotale came out into the open and was free to resume normal life without fear of further reprisal. How would it be if we used that word in this verse? I said. I wrote out something rough. We were in jeopardy of being killed, but Jesus came to make a trade. He gave up his life instead, and we get to go free. Dupatapo, Hapeli nodded, and God said, "Supo." That's right. One of the old men had been listening intently. He leaned forward, a big kina shell swinging on his bare chest. "That's hard to believe," he said. "What is?" I said. "That Dupatapo was a person. In the past, we've given a great deal to trade for a clan brother, a great deal, but we've never given a person, and a person would never give himself." He looked around at the others, the whites of his eyes flaring in deep-set sockets. He leaned back with a sigh, like it was beyond his grasp. Then he said what they always say when things hit them at the deepest level. "We are dying of the deliciousness of this talk."